I'm recognized all over the world now, but my greatness came and started in Louisville, Kentucky, and that's one of the greatest cities in America, Louisville, Kentucky. And I predict that Louisville, Kentucky will have another world champion, because Louisville is the greatest.
Bob Willis is the undisputed heavyweight champion of Alpha Phi Alpha.
He is my king, he is my one. Yes, he's my father, yes, he's my son. I can talk.
For over 75 years, Robert Andrew Willis, affectionately known as Bob, husband, father, grandfather, mentor, leader, statesman, has served his beloved Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, Louisville, Kentucky, the home of Kentucky Derby, the home of the heavyweight champion Cassius Clay, a.k.a. Muhammad Ali, the home of 14th General President and historian Charles Harris Wesley, and the home of the 18th General President Frank Stanley, publisher of the Louisville Defender newspaper.
Hail to our alma mater.
Bob attended historic Kentucky State University and established himself as a campus leader.
Shall be no other to surpass her fame. Hers is the hand.
It was there where he saw the light of Alpha.
Well, I think what made me choose Alpha was two purposes. One was my uncle. I was named after him, and my uncle was the president of Alpha Phi Chapter Clark in 1933. So he had an impact on me, and plus my brother. My brother went in the same chapter I did, Beta Mu at Kentucky State, 2 years before I did. Those were the two influences on me. My uncle started talking to me when I was a youngster. He lived 4 blocks from where I lived. I was always going down to his house. And I kept seeing all these magazines, which was Sphinx magazine. I didn't know what they were. I was too young. But so one day I just asked him about those magazines, and he sat down and started telling me about it. And he was very active in the Alpha Lambda chapter in Louisville. So he would go to picnics and things. His chapter had always to carry me with him. And so I got the exposure. And then carrying me to the picnic, I found out who in Louisville themselves were members of Alpha. All the power brokers in Louisville at that time were Alphas. So that was my exposure. Then my brother exposed me to it. And then my brother told me he knew I wanted to go Alpha. He said, now when you go, they don't take anybody in that chapter up there. You know, they take about 7 people at a time. And when I went in, only one negative vote would keep you out of the fraternity. Just one vote, which means you had to get the votes of everybody in that chapter. And I consider myself very fortunate to be able to get all those votes. And when I went in a chapter, then right after that, I came here to Atlanta to a general convention. And when I came to general convention, then I saw Thurgood Marsh, all of these people, folks I've been reading about, and all that stuff, all them folks was here. See? And so when I saw those people, and then most of the college presidents of black colleges were here. So all the black leadership was here. And that influenced me to no end.
In his 76 years of being an Alpha, he came in at a time in 1949 and immediately rose to the leadership as a college brother on our board of directors. And during the time that he was a board member, the general president was Belford Lawson, one of our iconic general presidents. The Eastern Regional Vice President was Edward Brooke, who ultimately rose to become a United States Senator. There were 3 living jewels who also sat on our board. All of those men, Alpha giants, poured into Brother Bob Willis.
I figured the more I know about Alpha, the better Alpha I was going to be.
There's no other brother like Bob Willis. I often recall when I first met Bob and got on the board of directors, and his direction to me was, come here, boy, sit your big AZZ down here and don't say anything. We laugh about that now.
I've been a life member of this fraternity over 50 years myself. Life member. Over 50 years, that's a long time, right?
He and I served as regional vice presidents of the board of directors. He was a southern regional vice president, I was a southwestern regional vice president. And even at that point, as I observed him and his sagacious comments, and very direct and very prudent, Brother Willis is definitely a very straight shooter.
Alpha doesn't do anything just for us. We never have, it's not our history. We do for the masses of people.
I admire the respect that others had for him. Bob Willis is loyal, he's true, the highest level of integrity.
I don't sponsor people I don't know. Not that they're not good people, but I don't know them. He may be one of the best people in the world, but if I don't know you, I'm not gonna put my name on your application.
The one thing I can say about Brother Bob Willis, he doesn't come at you with maliciousness. He does not come at you to embarrass you. What he looks for is strong leaders within this fraternity.
None of us practice our profession when we come to this convention. We talk about Alpha. We don't talk about where we work. It's not a part of the discussion. It's what we're gonna do over here. And it makes young folk, and I always felt I was in the right place. I never felt because they were PhDs, and they were college presidents, and they were all of that, it didn't make no difference because they didn't practice that here. They practiced brotherhood here.
Bob Willis represents every ideal and precept that the Jewels had December 4th, 1906. He represents a lifelong commitment and service to this fraternity. He represents the model of what it means to be an alpha man.
I'm married to this just like I'm married to my wife, you know, so that's the kind of thing. And they understand this. My wife's the same way in her sorority, and my daughter in her sorority. They're the same way. They committed over and over and over to no end.
He represents to me longevity, the epitome of service and a willingness as an Alpha Phi Alpha man to serve literally his entire life.
Brother Bob Willis, on behalf of all the Alpha men across the world, we want to congratulate you in commemoration of this gala in your name. It is truly a worthy honor, but only a small token of appreciation that we can show you. The brothers of the Southern region and Alpha men everywhere owe you so much, and we congratulate you.
But fraternity is a conduit that brings everybody together for one common cause. And everybody is the same. There's no big me and little you. There ain't none of that.
He ain't heavy. He's my brother. So on we go. His welfare is my concern. No burden is he too bad. I wish I could this evening, y'all. We'll get there. For I know he will not encumber me.